tuning in to episode 4, season 1 of Keeping the Gap Civil. To my right is the original bona fide Johnson boy.
Chris Johnson. Thank you. Thank you. And to my left is the never gonna catch a red fox chaser, also known as Harold, also known as Lucas Paisley.
All right. Folks, we've got all kinds of stuff to tell you about. But first, I just want to say how happy I am that springtime is here. I'm so tired of splitting wood, stacking wood, waiting for wood to dry, burning wood, and being cold. I've just had enough all the way around. How about you?
Oh, yeah. Jokes?
We ready?
Yep.
I think you better start this one because when you hear mine, this may be our last episode, folks.
I'm not ready. So I was talking to an old man the other day.
Okay.
He said he'd been married for 50 years. 50 years. Said he hadn't had a fight.
Made it 50 years.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Said he hadn't had a fight with his wife in his house the whole time.
Well, I was married 17 years and I never said that once. How about you?
Well, made it a year, 2 months, 14 days.
And you never had a fight in your house?
No, I can't say that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
Anyways,
joke there.
I said, right. You never had a fight in your house. It's unbelievable. He says, well, I'll tell you our secret. I said, what's that? He said, we go out in the yard to fight.
That's good. That is good. That kind of sums it up.
Yep.
Yeah, it does. Well, friend, actually, I don't even have a joke tonight.
This is not good.
I don't even have a joke.
This is bad.
Because actually, we've got to discuss a very important business matter. Now, I know this is going to be hard for you, but we've always split the money even down the road. Everybody that plays with us, we all get an even cut. I'm afraid we're going to have to reduce your cut.
Why?
Well,
this is not funny.
It's going to have to go down. I have come into possession of some video coverage that shows that there are times when you're not pulling your weight in the band. Folks, we're going to let you be the judge. I'm going to show Chris for the first time what I have discovered. And then we'll all decide together if he gets to keep his cut or not.
Don't have raising me, lay that money down, I lay it down. But I got gold underneath the ground. Right before the sun lays on.
Chris has been confronted with irrefutable evidence that while the rest of the band was playing a song, we were at a wedding doing a little gig there, the rest of the band was working hard, playing a song, and Chris was in the back eating. I mean, well, I just thought we'd kind of put you on trial here with our viewers and our fans.
In my defense then, Mr. Judge, I unloaded the van by myself while you ate.
Oh, in that gig?
Yeah.
Really? Do you have a video of that?
Yeah. Give me time to find it.
All right, folks. Will you let us know if you think Chris should keep his fair share of the money or not?
Funny, man.
All right, let's talk. Let's get on to some real business here. Let's talk. What is going on for Jubilee this month? Tell us who we got.
Well, this month in April, of course, we're the first Saturday, so that's April the 6th. Gap Civil.
Mm-hmm.
April the 13th, second Saturday, always Mountain Park.
Mountain Park,
great band. April the 20th, that'd be Toontown. Mm-hmm. Great band. Got to play with them last month.
That's right. You were a member of Toontown last month.
Had a ball. It was a lot of fun.
You all were driving it. That was good. I came out and danced. It was really good. Brought my grandma out. We just had a big time.
And then April the 27th.
Woo! This is the one. I mean, all these bands are great, and we want you to come out to all of them, but you got something special going on April the 27th. What do we got?
Kevin 4 and the Virginia Carolina Boys.
Kevin said he hadn't played the Jubilee since he played it with Benton Flippin.
That's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I mean, this is a band of superstars right here. We're going to have Kevin on the banjo, Kirk Sutphin on the fiddle, Chester McMillan on the guitar.
Can't beat it.
It's going to be great. And you talk about it then. So it's Kevin Ford and the Virginia Carolina Boys. I mean, I don't see how you could possibly stay home. That'd be the biggest mistake of your life right there. Staying home on April the 27th.
I think we should tell them how we're going to change up the show to kind of shorten it a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, so we were really wanting to keep this show under 20 minutes. And then Chris told me I was just running my mouth all the time, which I was, which I'm bad to do. But we decided we were just trying to take on too much. We wanted to get all these things in the show, and our hearts were in the right place. We wanted to pack the show with a bunch of good stuff, but it was just getting a little bit long, we felt like. So we've decided to alternate Dead 'Uns But Good 'Uns and then Alive and Kicking'. So one month we'll do Dead 'Uns But Good 'Uns, and the next month we'll do Alive and Kicking'. And that'll let me run my mouth a little bit more, and we're going to try real hard to keep the show under 20 minutes. That's where it really needs to be. You think we could do that?
You're going to talk more?
Oh, well, I don't know. I wasn't really capable of talking less.
It's okay.
So,
I'll keep him under that mark.
all right. So does that bring us to?
Dead 'Uns
But Good 'Uns. All right. And this month, I'm real excited. In fact, I just got off the phone with his daughter, who was, she was a great family friend when I was growing up. She lived right up the road from my grandma. We'd always go up there and play, and she'd give us all kinds of sweets, and she had some grapevines in her yard. And well, her dad was Mac Brooks, a very well-known Allegheny fiddler. And first of all, I want to do a little, as Wikipedia would say, a little how do they say it? Disambiguation. Oh, man. And I'm an English teacher. I really should have that down. That's a little embarrassing, but there were two Mac Brookses. And around in Allegheny, you're either talking about Preacher Mac Brooks, or the other Mac Brooks was known as T-Model Mac Brooks. And he had a little store off of Shawtown Road, which is over in Glade Valley, that he ran. And he was a great fiddler. And if you're not familiar with the Fiddle Music from Allegheny County CD that Kilby and I put out on the Field Recorders Collective, he's on that CD, and that's where we'll be pulling this cut from. Is that so? If you're interested in music from Allegheny County, which I think you should be, I would get a copy of that CD. So anyway, he's on that CD, and he played at our local VFW, which was, back in the day, it was the place for a square dance, and it was amazing. People still talk about the VFW dance. And so Mac was a very frequent fiddler out there, played with all kinds of people. I was talking to Maxine today, and she mentioned Bob Caudle, Paul Miles, Sam Holcomb, John Irwin, Cliff Evans, Wade Miles, a bunch of local musicians. They'd play together. But something I didn't know, she was telling me about Bob Caudle, and said that Bob Caudle and Del Reeves went out to California together. Yep. And got kicked off the radio. Oh. Not that we would ever do anything like this, but apparently they were on the radio and they didn't know the microphone was still running. Uh-huh. She wouldn't tell me exactly what they said, but she said that was the last time they were on the radio out there.
I could see us doing that.
So anyway, we got to get a little background there. And one funny story that I love to hear, if anybody tells stories about Mac Brooks, they tell this story, which is he was running his store, and they had some gas pumps out there, and somebody pulled up with some Pennsylvania plates. And maybe he was sitting outside, but his daughters, Maxine and her sister, they would run the gas. So they were pumping gas, and he was out there. Well, this guy from Pennsylvania, Mac saw the Pennsylvania plates, and this guy from Pennsylvania he stepped out and real cocky like, he said to Mac, well, I come here to look for the hillbillies. Where are they all at? And Mac said back to him, he said, well, they're all up in Pennsylvania teaching school. So everybody loves to tell that story about Mac. So anyway, let's hear one of Mac's tunes. This is Mac's tunes. This is his version of Fortune, and it's actually from the VFW dance. So you get to hear a little bit of that in action. It's a great cut from that CD. If you don't have that CD, you should get it. And here is one of our famous local fiddlers, Mac Brooks.
Did that hit you?
Getting kind of close there.
Did that hit you?
No.
I'll try harder next time. Well, that was some good music, but
really good. Can you imagine being at one of those dances?
oh,
back
I
in the
wish
day?
I could be.
And Ellen told me one time, that's my grandma, Ellen, she said that not everybody, well, not all the girls were allowed to go to the dances.
Really?
But there were quite a few parents that wouldn't let their daughters go.
Huh.
So it was must have been quite a place there.
It was a hookup place, wasn't it?
All right, let's see. Well, I think that's going to bring us to our playing schedule. What have we got going on this month?
Yep. So, of course, April the 6th, Jubilee. That starts at 7. April the 12th, pretty excited about. We're going to be playing at our local brewery, Laconia, here in Sparta.
That's right. Man, we hope you come out to that show.
That's going to be a good one.
We got a whole different, well, not a completely different set of songs, but let's just say there's a lot of songs that we wouldn't bring out at a square dance that we might bring out at the brewery gig.
Yeah.
So just come out and see us. You'll get to hear some stuff that you don't normally get to hear. We'll bring out a bunch of Merle Haggard stuff and some little Hank Williams Jr., George Jones. Yeah, we got a whole little list of stuff that we don't bring out at the square dances. So I'm pretty excited about that gig.
Yeah.
Plus, it's one of our own who came back to Sparta to start up this business.
Yep.
And so we.
Right. Brandon Edwards.
Yeah, Brandon Edwards came up, grew up here, and then he came back and reinvested in the community. We've got a young entrepreneur in the community. So it's a lot of work to support his business, but Chris and I feel like we can take that upon ourselves sometimes and do our part for the community and a young entrepreneur and head out there and support that business. So we're real excited about playing April the 12th at Laconia Brewery, and that's in Sparta. That's right next to the hotel and JB's Pizza if you come into town.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so that's April 12th.
April the 13th, we're having an event up in Floyd County.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they're moving county records over to the Floyd Country Store.
Yeah.
So I need to get all the details from Dylan, but that's the gist of it, is they're moving county records over to the Floyd Country Store. So it's a big event and celebration of that. And, of course, anybody watching this video, I'm sure, has enjoyed some of the music put out on county records. So that's something we're real proud to be a part of that. And looking forward to it. And I think they've done such a good job with the Floyd Country Store. I know they're going to do a good job with that whole transition.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else we got?
Then we, on April the 20th, that'll be Yadkinville Fiddlers Convention.
Yeah.
May go down there and compete.
Yeah, we're thinking about heading down there on the 20th of April. So we got
Yep.
that little field. Well, I've never been. Have you ever been down there?
I've never been to it.
Seems like every year something comes up, but this year I'd like to go down. We'll see if we can get into it. And we're not going to be able to go to it because we're playing the Jubilee that night. But we'll just put a plug in for the Surrey County Fiddlers Convention, which is run by some great friends of ours and some great people, and down in Dobson over at Surrey Community College. And they've got a dance on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some great bands playing, and then they've got their whole convention on Saturday. So all kinds of it's a great kind of warm up convention. I wish we could go to it this year, but we'll get it in a future year when we go down there. All right, and then we got anything else going on?
That does it.
That's it for the month.
For the
Okay,
month of
all right,
April
good deal.
for us. Yep.
Because you're going on a big fishing trip, and I'm not going with you. I had to back out. I felt bad about that. I really did. But
Okay.
Talmadge's birthday is on the 25th of April, and I just couldn't miss his birthday. So, but I didn't.
You think you would have knew that before you committed?
Yeah, I felt real bad about it. I said I felt bad.
His own child's birthday, and he didn't even remember it.
Yeah, well, I was real excited about the fishing trip.
All right. I'll let you pass. I'll let you pass.
Next year, though.
All right.
Next year.
That hit you?
Mm-mm.
Gosh, I gotta get closer. So that brings us to our next topic.
Which is?
Something special.
Something special. And we have really got something special this time.
We do.
We had a great visit with
Dean Sturgill.
Dean Sturgill. Went out to Dean Sturgill's place, and what a great, just such a great storyteller, great person, warm and welcoming. Him and his wife Phyllis just took us in the living room, and Trish came over to visit with us, and her dad Charles, and we just had such a good time hearing stories, and I got to hear Dean play too long ago. He really was just a great fiddler. He had such a nice touch on the bow. I loved to hear his fiddling. He was the fiddler for the Grayson Highland bands, but he's a poet, storyteller, fiddler, philosopher. I mean, this man is a marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think we should just kind of let Dean speak for himself. We better, because we're trying to keep this thing shorter.
Yep.
All right. So,
Proud of you.
all right. let's hear a little story from Dean that we got on our visit there. All right.
I can tell you all kinds of tales. I've been here long enough to hear all kinds of tales, and I've been here long enough to make up a lot of tales. You heard about the measles, ain't you?
I've heard of the measles.
Yeah, you never did have them, did you?
Mm-mm.
You know, I remember back on when a lot of young'uns had the measles, and they could be deadly. They was a bad disease, a bad ailment, the measles was. But anyway, I never did exactly know what they was. It's some kind of a skin infection, disease or something. You'd break out, you know, and get running sores. And when them sores healed up, it leave scars, you know. And some of the young ones that had the measles, why, they went blind or almost blind. Well, I don't know if you ever heard it or not, but them old folks, I remember them saying when the people had the measles, if the measles went in on you, they call it going in on you internally. They went internally, didn't stay outside, that it was key. So I heard them old folks talk about this family up in Fees Ridge had 4 young ones up there. They lived in the very last house up in that Fees Ridge holler. 1-room log house, and there's a sawmill over on the ridge. And the old man, one summer there, went over where that sawmill was, got enough scrap lumber, enough slabs, they built another room on his house. He had 4 young ones, 2 girls and 2 boys. The girl's name, one of them was named Ann and the other named Annie. And the boy's name was, one is named Pete, and the youngest boy, the little boy, is named Peter. And they fared pretty good up there, of course, back in everybody lived in poverty. There wasn't no such thing as the rich and the poor. Everybody's poor, you know. Well, anyway, the measles come through, and all them young ones got the measles. Well, the measles are hard on the whole family, but they finally got over them, all but the little boy, Peter. They went in on him and killed him. So, it hurt the other young ones real bad. They talked about it for time and a time, about him and the little brother dying. And stayed sad and trouble for a long, long time, and they told everybody about it, you know. And they had this little tale they told. At the end of their story, they said, little Peter had the measles. They spread all about. The measles went in on little Peter, and little Peter petered out. You've never heard that tale, have you?
I've never heard it. No.
I mean,
Isn't he such a wonderful person?
Amazing, amazing. I loved getting that time with Dean. Yeah, just proud to have gotten to spend a little bit of time there with him at his home over in Ashe County.
Yep.
Well, folks, I think that's going to wrap up another episode of Keeping the Gap Civil. We know that spring's coming around. The birds and the bees. Mother Nature. All we're asking is, we're just telling you, a word of advice. Keep the gap civil.
Okay, that's where you're going with that.
You ready?
Yep.
Come on.
Well, that brings us to our...
That's not a good hit.
I know. I don't want to break your bow.
Yeah,
This one looks old.
yeah, that one, yeah.
All right.
And then,
I'm about to hit your finger. Ready?
ready.
What did we finish talking about? We talked about them, right? In the schedule, right?
The schedule, yeah.
Right. Oh, gosh.
That's pitiful. Pitiful. All right.
I'm sorry. I got it. All right.
All right.
Look.
Center yourself.
Center myself. All right. Here we go. God, move your hand.
Dangerous, that thing.
All right.
All right.
First out there.